Hey y'all, Disobey. What you are is the truth. That's going to be important for this video and going forward for every video. It's been important before, but it's getting intense today. Okay, there's no Schopenhauer yet because I was going to put him on in the background like always, but where I started was so synchronistic, so I just want to play it.
We shall consider these abstract ideas by themselves later, but in the first place we shall speak exclusively of the ideas of perception. These comprehend the whole visible world, or the sum total of experience, with the conditions of its possibility. We have already observed that it is a highly important discovery of Kant's, that these very conditions, these forms of the visible world, that is, the absolutely universal element in its perception, the common property of all its phenomena, space and time, even when taken by themselves and apart from their content, can not only be thought in the abstract, but also be directly perceived, and that this perception or intuition is not some kind of phantasm arising from constant recurrence in experience, but is so entirely independent of experience that we must rather regard the latter as dependent on it.
Okay, so to my layperson brain, when I hear those words, because he goes on and he's so intricate and he's so intelligent and it's hard to understand, but when I hear that, to me, what it's saying is time and space is dependent on consciousness, on awareness, on that which is, on beingness, on you and I. Experience, the way we experience it, time, space, causality, this is what Kant discovered. Time, space, causality is dependent on that which is, on consciousness, on us, not consciousness being dependent on a body, mind living in time and space in the physical world. No. Physical world, time and space, dependent, originating from that which is consciousness. Okay, now we're gonna listen to a short from Donald Hoffman that's similar to the one we started with the video last 3 days ago, last video, but it's gonna end a little different. Okay.
Does that mean that I'm worthless, I'm pointless, I'm meaningless?
Sorry, in the beginning he says we're all gonna die.
Die. Does that mean that I'm worthless, I'm pointless, I'm meaningless? No, it means who was the most rich and famous person in 1743? Who knows and who cares? Same thing about us. 1,000 years from now, is anybody going to know our name? No. Anybody going to care? No. We're all going to die. Does that mean that I'm worthless, I'm pointless, I'm meaningless? No, it means enjoy it. Life is full of all these irritations, things that go wrong, all the time. It's just like one after another. And part of, I think, the lesson of life is to just say yes to whatever happens. This is what happens. This is what needs to happen. And to not resist. The bottom line, though, is the simple one. If you love your neighbor as yourself, you're on the right track. And if you judge people, you know you're on the wrong track. It's a good game. So, hey, just go with it. We're all...
And so I forgot to mention earlier that this video is in response to one of the comments by you guys, Christopher James 789, and he asked, quick question, how do you see the will of love fitting into Hoffman's idea that reality isn't what it appears to be? And because you guys, it's a great question that's important because so much of this is, like, honestly, if I'm being honest, it goes back to what I always say about words and numbers can never be truth. Same thing with language, speech. What we do here is important, but it's never truth. It's airy-fairy, just philosophical, just, it's not truth. It's just words. It's poetic, it's nice, and it's important, but it's not truth. Truth is experienced. Truth is what you are. What I said in the beginning of this video. You are truth. Now, what is experienced? What is existence? Existary, to stand out from? In a sense, you guys, that's what all this is about. That's what Donald Hoffman is about. This isn't real. right? Like my body, my mind. It's not that it's not real, it's not fundamentally real. It's conventionally real.
In Bangor, Maine.
This isn't a material thing that is physical, that has standalone existence
The world as will and
from my
idea belongs to me.
perception. I
Translated
create
by
this
R.B.
ring
Helton and J. Kemp.
with my
This LibriVox recording is in the
with
public domain.
with
Recording by
my perception, with my awareness, with my observation. And if you were here sitting next to me, you'd create your own ring. But you need to understand that doesn't mean that you and I are separate. What it means is that you and I are two different localized dynamics, or two different whirlpools, or two different waves within the ocean of consciousness. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are dissociated minds of mind at large. In Buddhism is the most cutthroat non-dual philosophy I've ever come across, especially Dzogchen Buddhism. And Dzogchen is the best, but like in my opinion, serious Buddhism, guys, Buddhism is the most cutthroat. And what Dzogchen will tell you is that it's essentially what I always try to get across, is that you can't get away from awareness. And they break it down as Rigpa Ji. And Rigpa, you could essentially say it as a will-o-wisp of, it's a will-o-wisp of awareness within the ground of being, which is Ji, which is awareness. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Because you and I are will-o-wisps of awareness dancing on the ground of being, Ji, which is awareness itself. So Rigpa is what you and I are, streams of Rigpa dancing on the ground of being, which is Ji. It's a light show. Rigpa Ji. But it's not dual. It's not two. The awareness and the ground of being is awareness. So it's not two. It's non-dual. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's Brahman. It's God. It's the one. It's what is. It's that which is. It's existence, consciousness, bliss. You guys, I have to like bring my own experience just into the conversation. Like when I had that seizure, I've told you before, I had the flash of light through my awareness, red, green, blue, and then I saw essentially the only thing I could ever describe as Rigpa Ji. And I say will-o-wisps of awareness because you guys, like, that's where we all come from. Because you guys, you have to understand, like, I came around the corner, said it didn't feel good, fell into my coworker, and the colors flashed before my awareness, red, green, blue, saw the void, saw G, and then was immediately in the ambulance with a person I went to school with. So don't you see, all of this is within consciousness. It is Rigpaji. It is that which is. It is God's mind. Okay. But what you and I experience, you guys, is space-time. It's causality. It's not real. It's what we can only experience because this is what the human mind knows. It can only it's what the human mind knows on default. That's what meditation's about. Because then you go meditate and you experience different planes of consciousness. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And like real quick, I don't watch Stranger Things. I think I've only seen like a few episodes of the first season, but apparently they do like all sorts. It's essentially like the Montauk experiment, like, or something like that. But I know essentially what they're talking about. Like they're trying to say like they manipulate the mind and put them under these technologies and this like, you know, they sit them in this chair or whatever. And you guys, that's essentially just like using technology in the physical world to manipulate what these Buddhists and yogis, these Buddhist monks and Vedantist yogis spend their whole lives meditating and doing yoga for. Do you see what I'm saying? So like a Buddhist monk will spend their entire lives meditating and achieving planes of awareness, planes of consciousness far beyond anything our scientists could ever manipulate with technology. But you guys, what I'm trying to get at is that space-time, causality, pretty sure he just said that, synchronization, it's only real for us. Think about it like this. Like if I had a snake right here hanging off instead of this, imagine if it was a snake. The snake would see what this room is, but in infrared. We see space time and causality. It's not truth. It's survival. It's truth. Darwin's true on this level of existence, on this plane of awareness. Yes, it's true. If you step in front of a train, you're going to die. This body mind, this game within this simulation will end for sure. But not your awareness, not that which is. You and I are essentially black hole like portals into that which is. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, just conventionally speaking, stay with me. Everything I'm about to say is wrong. But behind this face is a black hole of. See, I'm closing my eyes. What is behind this face is a black hole of nothingness, a portal back into that which is. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And that's what's behind your eyes too. All conventional speak. It's not truth. You need to experience it for yourself. But it's essentially, instead of an actual world, it's just a bunch of portals just moving in and around each other, just like of consciousness. Do you see what I'm saying? Just sort of similar to our fluctuating constant influx monad. You guys, real quick, this is essentially the Matrix, but you're not escaping. You're not escaping into any different realm or any different place. I mean, I guess you could consciously expand and see, angels and demons or devas and asuras or whatever. I'm not, whatever. But it's not about escaping the Matrix like they do in the movie. Escaping this Matrix is ending the suffering, the cessation of suffering. It's knowing that you are that which is and everything arises out of it. So, like Donald Hoffman said before, don't resist. Go with, accept and move with the simulation. Do your best not to fight it. Think about like trying to fight back the ocean. How successful are you really going to be at stopping the ocean? Well, you'd need to mass all the armies of the world and build the AGI that they're trying to build, right? Like, that's the only way you'd ever have a chance. Which, by the way, is foolishness. It's like building the Tower of Babel. It is foolishness. You're never gonna beat God or that which is. It's foolish, but it's a nice attempt, right? And you already are that which is, so why are we spending time hurting each other, having races with money and stuff like that, competing with each other, when we should just be enjoying the moment? And honestly, AI could be actually really great for us if we, learned to love each other and enjoy life more, because then we'd have a reason to not be working so much, right? Not saying we don't stop, that we all stop working out together. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, there's always good and bad to everything, and we don't need it to be bad. It's just that we don't understand reality, and a lot of that is because of our masters, through religion, through science, because science today is just scientism. It's not real. Donald Hoffman's real science. Okay, real quick. So there's a video on YouTube under a channel called The Diary of a CEO, and he's interviewing Donald Hoffman. That's a video I would highly recommend you going to watch, seriously. Donald Hoffman is amazing in that. And the host does a pretty good job too. I'm about to read a question that he asks Donald Hoffman towards the end. And it's so pivotal. It's so important. It's so poignant. It's like the most important kinds of questions that we need to be talking about and asking ourselves and each other when we're here. Because this stuff isn't a joke, and it's beautiful and it's great, but it's also not easy. It's not just something to take lightly, is what I'm trying to say. So with before I'm about to read the question that he asked, just remember, you are truth. You are truth. And life's about getting to know and love the beingness of yourself and others. And then getting to know and love the mind of yourself and the others, and the body of yourself and the others. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the body and the mind fold back into, conventionally speaking, consciousness. And consciousness is a synonym for beingness, which is what we're after. So get to know your consciousness, get to know your beingness, because that's what's fundamental. No offense, you guys, but I'm not trying to be harsh or mean or anything, but I'm coming up on video 100, and I can just feel it in my own life, dude. Like, it's becoming a surge. And, like, the only thing, and I'll tell you, it's like, it's a resurge, because this is what got me here, is this coming back to this stuff. Like, the only thing, you guys, that's real, fundamentally real, not conventionally real, but the only thing that's real is that which never changes. And everything that you and I know about this world, in this world, and about this world, our bodies and our minds, are always changing. It's in constant flux. That's the unatman of our stained glass monad, made up of a web of windows in constant flux. That's the unatman. Everything's in constant flux, you guys. The body, the mind, and your current circumstance is always in constant flux. But that which is not in constant flux is the frame of awareness, so to speak. I'm looking at a computer, so frame came in. Excuse the frame or whatnot. But that's that which never changes is real, and that's awareness, beingness, consciousness. That's what's important in this life, because right now you and I are trapped in Yaldabaoth, which is a philosophical Gnostic way of speaking, saying trapped in the human mindset that is scared, a separate little ego self in a huge, separate, scary world. And don't get me wrong, that's all conventionally true, so far as we allow it to be, right? The more understanding, the further away from that we become. But it's totally true, and I, again, would never deny the suffering of us out here. It's never to belittle or degrade or diminish anything that happens to us, good or bad. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you guys, it's about using the suffering as a tool, right? As a not a tool, not because again I don't want, because it's not diminished. I don't want to take it lightly. It's just that, like, suffering is there for a reason. It's there for you to not turn away from. And you guys, it goes back to Carl Jung. You have, with Carl Jung, you have, like, what, the ego, the personality, the shadow, and the self, the capital S self, which is God, which is consciousness. The shadow, the best teacher, you guys, in the three with Carl Jung, the best teacher with Carl Jung is the shadow. You know what I'm saying? The dark, the evil, the suffering, the shadow. That stuff is here for a reason. It's what Buddhism's all about. It's because it's what we need to be paying attention to learn the truth about what's going on here. And I can only say that from my own personal experience, because I had to get to the rock bottom of my life. I had to get so low, you guys. I couldn't get any lower. Literally, I blanked out. I seizured out. I couldn't get any worse. My body had to shut. My mind had to literally this whole thing had to stop, and I had to see red, green, blue flash across my awareness and literally experience Rigpa-ji forcefully, so that I could understand and not, perhaps, not to be mean or anything, but die from withdrawal. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because some people die from withdrawal. I didn't die, thank God, from my seizure. You know what I mean? I didn't die. I experienced it, came right back. That's like the only, spiritual experience I've ever had. I've never experienced any spiritual anything like demons or angels or anything like that. But you guys, again, not to say that those entities aren't real or wouldn't be their own individual entities real, and that, you and I aren't conventionally real, because we are conventionally real. But no matter what, you guys, it all goes back to that blank, not blank in a bad way, but just that transparent, ever-present, pristine, infinite awareness. And you guys think about it. It's like it's it's what they meditate forever to. Not to say that like I wouldn't wish what happened to me or what I experienced on anyone, you guys. That's what all these monks and yogis and enlightened people, that's like Rupert Spira and Meister Eckhart, that's what these people are on about. They're trying to let people know that you don't have to, go hit rock bottom. You can just use the suffering and the pain that's already existent in your life. You don't have to go to the extremes. You can just, start looking at life differently. We don't need, I would hope that we don't need to suffer as much as like anybody like I did. Like, no. And again, me, you guys, please use my suffering. I don't give a flying about you using my suffering. I am an open book. I have no shame. I drank no less than a liter of vodka a day, you guys, just to literally stay and figuratively stay alive. And that corresponds perfectly with what the question that person asks Donald Hoffman. Because before, that's what I went mad. People go mad. Then once we start understanding stuff like this, there's another potential way to go mad. And that's what this question is, okay? So the interviewer asked Donald Hoffman, is there a concern that believing in these things can make one go mad? He goes on to say, I think that thinking very deeply about who we are, why we're here, how we got here, sometimes it makes me, I don't know, like I lose a bit of my orientation and I get a little bit of a wobble, like when I've had these conversations about the simulation theory, and this being a video game and such. I'm like, well, it kind of shakes everything and these stories that we've constructed our lives, and that they anchor us and they orientate us and they give our life meaning. So if it's not true, then I lose the meaning of my life, and I worry if I risk going bonkers, going mad. And you guys, his question is so important and it's very poignant. What we've done here is an extreme neti, you guys. We're not the body, we're not the mind, we're not those thoughts that drive us crazy, we're not this physical world that we wish was different, we wish we looked different, we wish we had different material things, we wish our minds were different, so many things. We're not the body, we're not the mind, we're not the current circumstance. Neti. But that can become very nihilistic, that can become empty, vapid, hollow. That's what this person's on about. And Donald Hoffman goes on to say that he empathizes. And you guys, I do too. I totally do. And that was a whole nother bridge that, I had to cross, because the first one before is materialistic, vapid nothingness. And this one, if misunderstood, it can become a vapid nothingness either, because you guys, again, remember what I've said before, the Rigpa that I experienced, that I was aware of, I should say, was forcefully aware. I was forced to be aware of that under horrible, nihilistic, materialistic, consumeristic, atheistic, hating the world circumstances. You know what I mean? Like, it was a seizure due to withdrawal of alcohol that forced me to have that experience. So I can't imagine experiencing something like that due to positive years of meditation. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all about experience. So what I'm trying to get at is that what we were talking about before, the answer to his question, in a sense, the best I could ever give. Again, not saying it's the answer, just in my opinion, it's what I said before. Get to know your beingness, get to know the beingness of your others, the beingness of your family members, the beingness of your friends, the beingness of your loved ones. Get to know your mind, get to know their mind, get to know, you already know their bodies, what they look like, but get to know your mind, get to know the feelings, the sensations, the intuitions that arise when you are around them, like, get to know the psychic realm of your life, not so much the physical world. Do you know what I mean? Get to know the beingness of yourself and the others, and get to know the mind of yourself and the others. Because that's what's going to continue. Not to say the mind's fundamental, but it's more fundamental than the body. So, who knows about the afterlife, right? Like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know anything about that stuff. But you guys, the more I get into these videos, I started it not wanting to talk anything about like the spiritual world and spirits and demons and stuff like that. But the more I go on, you guys, I don't really have a problem talking about that because you guys, what I'm trying to get at is Donald Hoffman's Spacetime headset is what Kant found out. Kant found out philosophically back in the 1700s the cognitive architecture that Donald Hoffman is mathematically and scientifically laying out before us. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And Arthur Schopenhauer defined that, identified that as the will, as a blind, irrational, insatiable, driving, ever striving force. And that's true when we live in ignorance. It's not good enough. We're not good enough. I wish things were different. I don't want to be here. Whatever, whatever, whatever. That's the existential worry. The existential, why am I here? What's going on? I wish this was different. Like so many things going on in the human mind. That's the will. That's Schopenhauer's will. That's Yaldabaoth, you guys. That's this world that we're stuck in. That's the matrix until we learn that we are truth. Until we learn that you are truth. That's how you escape the matrix. That's how you get out of Yaldabaoth and find the monad, is by understanding that you already are the monad. And like Donald Hoffman said, do your best not to fight what arises in front of you. Yes, physical danger, get the fuck out of the way. I'm not here to say that, you know? Like I said before, don't fight. Walk away. Run if you have to. And don't ever be the first one to throw a punch. Don't stand in front of a train, and don't be stupid. Perhaps instead of maybe doing a roller coaster, you go and enjoy the roller coaster of life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not about the physical experiences so much. Of course it is. It's about having fun in the physical world, but it's about being more grounded, being more loving, simply just being here now and turning that into being loved now. And if you happen to be having a crazy physical experience at the time, then great, go with it. But don't let it be what's important in life, the end all be all, because it's not. What's the end all be all is awareness, is you, is that which is Rigpaji, is Brahman, is God, is the mind of God. That's what's real, not this virtual reality. Let's follow our hearts, listen to our guts, have open minds, carry moral compasses, and let us be loved now. Peace.